Hello and welcome to the Netflix vs. Cinema, the podcast that this week might be contributing to the death of cinema almost single-handedly. My name is Tosin and I am the host, and based up in a place called Bromsgrove near Birmingham in the middle of the United Kingdom. Joining me as always on the Isle of Wight are Sharon Bolin.
Hello.
Yeah, and the man who is single-handedly trying to keep cinemas alive, Shaun Harris.
Hello there.
And our London correspondent, Holly Neslane.
Hello.
Yes, so you know, I always call Holly our London correspondent. I might take to calling Shaun our cinema correspondent because
but not this week. Because
but this essentially this is like the exception that proves the rule that Shaun doesn't go to the cinema, and therefore we have nothing to talk about at the cinema. If you might have turned and going, oh my god, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine, that's like a big film. What do they think about it? This is the podcast where you will not hear anything about that because we haven't seen it yet, because Shaun, with a very good reason, had a hernia operation and so couldn't go to the cinema. And that means that the rest of us, personally, guys, Shaun, I always used to think of myself as the Robin to your Batman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When it came to cinema going, you do all the heavy lifting and I'll show up every now and go, yeah, holy smokes, Batman! I saw Despicable Me 4! But honestly, I'm getting to the stage where I'm beginning to worry I'm never going to make it to the cinema again.
Yeah, you will. As I say, there is a couple of things on now, isn't there, that we can do next time? Twister. I think I might I think Saturday I might go and see something Saturday. We've got Twister, we've got Wolverine, haven't we?
The big ones. The big ones are Deadpool and Wolverine and Twisters.
Yeah.
And you've got Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah.
No, is that in cinemas? Because
that's at Newport anyway.
It is. Oh, because it's on Apple TV Plus. I know that.
Oh, is it?
It's an Apple movie. Fly Me to the Moon is an Apple movie. I'm pretty sure it's on Apple TV Plus.
It's definitely in the cinema.
All right. Okay. Cool. I thought that was just an Apple thing. Right. Okay. So essentially, that's all to say that this week we're calling Netflix a cinema. Due to us, we are the problem. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. We are the problem. We're the reason cinema's dying. We didn't go, and we apologize. So it's just going to be a Netflix and home streaming fest. It's going to be a home streaming fest. So let's kick off with what we have seen this week at home. I know, Shaun, you've got The Boys season 3.
I've got The Boys season 3, yeah, and I've
had
Happy John round today, and we watched the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Conduct, because that was released today.
Yeah.
So that was a new one. And so, yeah, Happy John, you know our friend Happy John, he popped round and watched it with me to keep me company. I've also watched a 4-part series about Franco, the dictatorship, and way up to sort of modern times, how it happened, which was pretty good. Loads of stuff on YouTube, because I've basically been
bedridden, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, more or less. So so it's a good way to catch up on things, and and as I say, there's a bunch of other stuff I've watched, but those are the two I can think of at the moment.
Yeah, but we don't want to.
We watched actually not long ago. And I'd never seen it before. I don't know if you guys had 1980 Changeling with George C. Scott.
I've heard of it, never seen it.
Yeah, it's there.
Well, that's like a very popular title. It's a very well-known film title.
Yeah,
but I've never actually seen the film. The only Changeling I think I've seen is the Clint Eastwood Angelina Jolie one. So
that's the one I've seen.
Yeah, so that's the only one I've seen. All right, so. And I know, Shaun, we know we don't want to keep you too long because you're recuperating or anything like that.
Well, let's see how we go. I might be all right. But yeah, okay.
So I've got the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which I thought Fly Me to the Moon was only at home. I thought this was actually going to be in the cinema, which is dumb.
Yeah, but John told me that it was in America. It was in the cinema.
Yeah, because
John was saying that this was actually a cinema release because the logo's MGM, so
Yeah, well, Amazon bought MGM, so Amazon actually owns MGM now. But the stupid thing is that because The Boys season 4, I've been watching that, and every episode gets interrupted with a trailer for the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, pretty much. And I don't, something in my mind didn't put 2 and 2 together to say this is only going to be on Amazon Prime. I was thinking, that'll be in cinemas soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mind hasn't switched to the modern way yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't get a cinema release. I really am. But
Well,
like John said, it did in the States.
Well, yeah, because it looks. You look at the cast and you look at everything and you look at it. It looks like a cinema film. It really does look. It looks too big for just streaming. Essentially.
Yeah.
All right, so Sharon, how about you? What have you seen?
I have seen a new release on Disney Plus called Young Woman and the Sea.
Yes,
Daisy Ridley film.
yes, that was in cinemas about a month ago.
Oh, right. Missed that one.
Right.
Young Woman and the Sea. All right, cool. And Holly, what are you bringing to the table?
I have seen The Jetty on BBC,
Yep.
and the thing that you have also watched that I have forgotten.
The Boys.
No, the boys. It's
No.
yeah,
Oh,
Douglas is
something-
cancelled.
Dennis is
Douglas
cancelled.
is
Yeah, Dennis is
cancelled,
cancelled.
Douglas is cancelled.
And almost certainly other things. But and I watched Sting.
Sting. Oh yeah, which Shaun
Oh,
had
oh
reviewed.
yeah, the old spider.
The old spider where a girl befriends a small spider and nothing bad happened ever again.
Exactly that.
She fed little things to the spider and the spider grew at an alarming rate and everybody lived happily ever after. Lived being the being the word. Yeah, everyone know, but nobody stopped living. All right, cool. Let us kick off with The Boys season 4. So I will, Shaun, if it's okay, I'll take this away. Just explain what this is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I'd like you to. It'd be great. Yeah.
All right, so The Boys season 4. Now, if you have been watching this, we're talking The Boys, and it's in the 4th season. You might know what this is already. This is pretty much a superhero satire, but it's a satire that goes and takes in a whole bunch of stuff. It aims at a whole bunch of different things. So it's a world in which superheroes exist, but almost every single superhero in this is a twisted version of a superhero that exists in, like, whether it's a DC superhero or Marvel superhero. You can see that you can go, okay, you can see what they're doing there, you see what they're doing there. Some of them, they go, this is what the superhero would be like if they were actually in the real world. Like if you had a superhero that was pretty much a god, like as powerful as Superman, it's very unlikely that he would be the big blue Boy Scouts and think that, truth, justice, and the American way, or anything like that. So you have a guy called Homelander. You have a team called the Seven, who are pretty much analogous to the Avengers or the Justice League or anything. And the Boys are a group of people who are like an undercover, or they're like a black ops version of the CIA, whose aim is to try and keep these superheroes in line. So we've gotten to season 4 by this stage. By this stage, you're beginning to have, like, Homelander beginning to have almost political aspirations and thinking there's this feeling building up that, hang on a second, we are better than them. Why do we let them run everything? Why are we not in charge? And so it's all about the machinations that are going about between the Homelander, who is the main superhero, and what's going on between them. They're trying to put like somebody in the White House. And I feel it's difficult to spoil anything that has happened before the season starts. I mean, you can't really talk about this season without spoiling or without talking about what's happened in the other seasons. So by the end of the last season, you have there's a vice presidential candidate who is actually a superhero, but nobody knows that because she's been hiding it this whole time. And it's about how close are we going to get to the White House. And there's all these sort of political leanings going on in the background. And because it's The Boys, there's also a whole bunch of graphic stuff that happens, be it sexually, be it violence, be it whatever. They seem the Boys is written, and even the book it's based on, to almost kind of shock and to be irreverent and to be and to not treat any, like, we're not going to treat Superman with any reverence, we're going to treat Spider-Man with any reverence. This is how weird they would be in real life. And so that is what you're left with. And you have Billy Butcher, who's the head of The Boys, who has been taking a drug to try and make himself match up with the superheroes and what's going on with him throughout the season and all that kind of stuff. That's the basic premise. That's the basic premise. You have superheroes who these group of people think they're bad and want to get rid of, and you have the superheroes who are thinking, we are better than these people, we should run everything. And then you throw in a whole bunch of satire about American politics, about the state of, like, comic book movies, about all that kind of stuff. There's, like, racism put in there, there's sexism, there's all that. It's probably one of the most satirical shows on TV, and the layers of satire are sometimes almost too deep to wade through. With that being said, Shaun, what did you think of this season?
Okay, yeah, this season, I think it's probably the weakest of them all for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably the weakest of them all. It had moments, and it was they've been outrageous in the past, but I think they were trying to be bit too now. You know, it's becoming a bit sort of in your face.
It's kind of like, oh yeah, we've got to top ourselves.
You know, do we need the rest of this? But yeah, I mean, I do like it. I do like the concept. I thought old Sage was quite interesting as a
yes.
I like Sage.
Sage, the smartest person in the world. They keep saying, you're the smartest woman in the world. She's like, the smartest person.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I liked Sage, and was Firecracker in the other ones? Or was she
no, Firecracker shows up in this season. This
season, yeah. So Firecracker shows up, and
so essentially, so Holly, to get an idea of what Firecracker is, think of Alex Jones in a tightly fitting outfit. A female Alex Jones in a tightly fitting outfit. That's what Firecracker is.
So there was.
You don't mean the host of the One show, but
quite good introduced. And sorry, Sharon, what was that, mate?
Alex Jones. You don't mean the host of the One show.
No.
Assuming you mean someone else.
We're talking about the InfoWars guy, guy in America, the massive sort of like trumpeter. Anyway, sorry, sure, carry on.
I'll tell you what was quite interesting though in that last episode was, you know, should we say that there was a crossover, wasn't there? A little crossover,
with Gen V.
Gen V, just for a short time, which was quite interesting. So it makes you wonder. I mean, are they going to do another series? Do you think?
The plan is to do a second season of Gen V. And then they're going to finish Boys up with season 5. So season 5 is going to be the final season of The Boys.
Right. Okay. So
which I think is a good thing because they are building to the natural conclusion of the story. And as somebody who's read all the comics that they're based on.
Oh wow.
Yes, I've read all the comics. So there's something that happens in Gen V, and I'm like, okay, now we're in the end game. Now this is this is where everything builds up to, and so I think they use Gen V to introduce something that leads to the natural ending for The Boys. Which is quite. So anyway, back to you. What did you think?
So I did quite like the new characters. Which was quite interesting. I really like Sage. I don't know why, and there was just something about her that was. And she's a bit sort of grey area, isn't she? You don't really know. I mean, you're not really sure where it's going to go with her, really.
Yeah, because she's like the smartest person in the world, so she's always thinking several steps ahead of everybody else. Yes. She's always thinking several steps ahead of everybody else, so you never know if anything that she's saying or she's doing is actually real or not, or if she's just playing a game. So, and there are certain bits there's certain scenes where they reveal what she's been doing, and I think that those are actually really, really well done. I like that bit. And I think that the performance by Susan Hayward is really good because, as you said, you're never really sure what she's doing.
No, that's it. You're never really. So that keeps you on edge. Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I do like this series. I think it's but for me, and perhaps this one was a little bit more all over the place. You know what I mean? It was sort of it wasn't. Whereas you could think you could lose what was going on really, perhaps some of the time if you didn't concentrate too much. You think, we're suddenly gone from this bit to that bit. But, on the whole, I thought it was really good. But I'm going to give this one a highish 3. So we got like I was going to say C grade then. So so this would be a 3. A 3A plus, I guess.
3 plus. Well, but it is. But I totally understand what you're saying, and I do agree with you. In that there's. Oh, there it is. It's the Oscars music telling me to shut up. The Oscars music telling me to shut up. Okay, but it's but no, I agree with you with because one of my problems I had with The Boys was it cannot go on forever. You can't drag this thing out too long. There has to be an end point. And there is a feeling where at the beginning of this season, is there really much that is different by the end of it? It's like, there's one big thing that is different. There's one big thing that's different. But you think, did we really need 8 episodes to get there? So there is, but although one thing I will say is that because I've read the comics, they diverge away from the comics a lot in the storyline of this. They diverge. So if you read the comics, there's a whole bunch of things. There's people who have been killed a long time ago in the comics who are still alive. There's people who are alive in the like in the comics who have been killed off, that kind of stuff. And
poetic license, I guess.
oh yeah, but I really like the way they've brought it back. I really like the way they've brought it back. They've brought it back to like the characters. You can see bits of them that are true to the original comic, but they've changed it. And essentially, where the relationship between the members of the boys by the end of this, I like what they've done in adapting it from one place to another.
Right.
I actually really like what they've done. And I would say that there are some things in this that are tropes that you would expect in. You've seen them many times on TV. You've seen them many times in films. But the way they do it in this, there was one particular one that when it happened and when they revealed it, I was like, I was like, that's a trope. But the way they did it, they did that very well. They did that very well. It had to do with the I can't remember his name of the show. You know Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
The one who turns up. I can't think of his
I can't remember his name in the show, but the way, like, something to do with him, the way they did it, I was like, oh, well played, because it's a massive trope that happens all the time, but I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming.
Don't you think though, with Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
he's playing Negan every time he shows up on screen.
Yeah, I mean the same as in that what was the big ape one? The big with the Rock. He was in that one as well.
Oh yeah, Rampage.
Rampage. Yeah, he was in that, playing like a cop Negan.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he has gone to the stage where he shows up and he plays Negan in everything he does.
Yeah,
he has done that. And I would just about. I think I'm pretty much the same as you, Shaun. I would just about give The Boys season 4 a 4. Like 4, yeah. just about tips into a 4. All right, cool. Now let's go. Let's see. Sharon, let's talk Young Woman in the Sea.
Right, yeah, Young Woman in the Sea is a film that is now out on Disney Plus. It's one of their new releases, and it is based on a true story, which is you approach those with a little bit of trepidation, I think, because I think, how true is it really? But I think this one, it's broadly, I think, only slightly fictionalized account of the first woman to swim the English Channel, and this lady is an American lady. She was from New York. She is the daughter of German immigrants, growing up in sort of early part of the 20th century in New York, and got measles, almost died as a very young child, and was part of her rehabilitation. And at the time of her youth, they were reading about there's a steamboat tragedy in the Hudson near New York where 900 women and children sort of basically got killed on this boat. And one of the reasons why was they're very close to the shore, but they ended up going down with the ship because none of them could swim. And so her mother was determined that her daughters would learn how to swim. And so because she'd had measles, there are rules about that children who had measles weren't allowed to go into the water because there's a danger of them going deaf. So she was not allowed to learn how to swim in a pool in the public baths. So she basically learned how to swim in the sea with her dad tying a rope around her waist and letting her swim. And so she became passionate about sort of basically open water swimming, as we call it now. And so her life as she grew up was, involved in swimming. She became a world record holder and an Olympian. But her one challenge that she would see was what was holding back women's sports was basically a woman doing some sort of feat. And it was always said that it would be impossible for a woman to swim in the English Channel. Their bodies wouldn't stand it because of the cold.
They're way too delicate.
They're too delicate to withstand the cold, the actual endurance of it, because it would be swimming for almost a day's worth of swimming, for 10 hours plus swimming, because of the tides and the way it works. I mean, it may be 12 miles, but you actually end up swimming closer to 30 or 40 when you actually swim the channel, because you are swimming against the tides as you go. And they were saying it's just impossible. No woman could possibly do this. And so she saw that as basically a personal challenge. That's one of the motivations in the film. Whether that is true in real life, I don't know. But one of the motivations in the film was, yes, I am going to do this thing that no other woman has ever done. And only at this point in 1926, I think only 5 men had actually swum the channel. In like the 40 years when they've been since the first successful swimming of the channel with Captain Webb, I think literally it only happened once every sort of 5 or 6 years that someone successfully managed to swim the channel, which now isn't that big a deal. So I don't understand. Well, it is a big deal, but I mean, it happens quite frequently, doesn't it? People do swim the channel. So I think in those days
I know 2 people who've done it.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're not athletes. they're not like high-end athletes. Yeah.
I think in those days they would swim from France to Britain. I think now most people set off from Britain and swim to France. I think because of the tides and the way it works, you're not swimming against the tide so much, and you can do it. It's a bit sort of not more easier, but it's more manageable. But anyway, so this film is how the build up to her attempting to swim the English Channel. And because she was the first woman to swim the English Channel, there's no spoilers to say that she does actually manage to do it. But how she gets there, it's the journey, as we see on these things.
Yes.
But no, I thought, and she did that in 1926. And when she returned home by ship to New York, and the ticker tape parade was attended by 2 million people.
Wow.
To greet her when she came back. And she's a person that I don't think, if I said Trudy Erdeler, I don't think anyone would have heard of her now, would they?
No.
Oh, only because of this film.
We do now. But I had to look up her name because I'm thinking, and I'm not sure if I've even pronounced it correctly, but I think it is Trudy Erdeler or Adele, something like that.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't quite pick it up on the film what they were saying. But yeah, so no, it was a very interesting film, true story, probably slightly tweaked with the facts to make it a bit more cinematic. But on the whole, a remarkable feat from this lady who lived to be 98 and was quite a remarkable lady in her own right.
Yeah.
Did go deaf as a result of swimming in cold water, having suffered measles as a child. And I believe that is one of the consequences. And she did teach deaf children to swim when she stopped her professional career. So I liked it. I thought it was a good film. Daisy Ridley she's sort of quite charming, isn't she? Anyway, I think. So I think, she played her with charm and understanding. I liked the supporting characters. Stephen Graham, he pops up. He's always a bit of a card in these films, and I think he does that. He plays that character card well.
Yeah.
And Christopher Eccleston played an old Scottish grump, and I think he sort of suits that role as well. So all the supporting cast did their thing, and I enjoyed it. So I'd give that a 4 stars.
4 stars. I was shocked when you said Daisy Ridley, and the second I saw Daisy Ridley, I just immediately assumed she was playing some slightly upper class English person. I didn't realize she was American in this. I'm like, oh, Daisy Ridley with an
German
accent.
descent. Yeah, both her parents were German born, so yes, she was like first generation American.
How did the accent sound?
To me, she sounded American when she was speaking.
Cool, good stuff. Well done, Daisy Ridley, best actress in the world. So I do really want to see her do more, because I feel like because of the Star Wars stuff and the Star Wars movies that she was associated with, which unfortunately, in my opinion, weren't the best. It's kind of like one of those things where in your head that's just who she is, and
you shake that off. I think she's managed to do that. Definitely here, she has shaken that off.
All right, cool.
But when I saw her, I was thinking, she has done other stuff apart from Star Wars. But yes, it's good to see her sort of moving on with other things. So I thought it's good.
Cool. Good stuff. And now we go on to the Jetty. So, Holly, I believe this is Olivia Colman, from what I can see, trying to find her own happy valley, or find her prime suspect, or be like the detective Jane Tennyson. That's the feeling I get from all the trailers I've seen for this. But tell us about the Jetty.
The other one, Jenna
Coleman. Sorry.
I was say, was Olivia Colman in that? I thought it was the one who was
I
in
said
Doctor
it. When you say something and there's something in the back of your mind going, you got that wrong, and I'm like, I'm sure I've got something wrong. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm just going to keep talking and hopefully someone will correct me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for correcting me.
Well, I have to say, I have not watched Happy Valley, so I cannot compare it directly. But the story is based upon Jenna Coleman being a police officer who has I think probably 16 or 17-year-old daughter. She had her when she was 17 herself. And she, relatively recently, she was widowed the year before her husband had died of cancer. And she starts to realize that there are clearly a lot of, that it looks like there's some sort of, sexual abuse ring going on in the area, and investigations into it start to reveal parallels and correlations with the disappearance of a young woman which would have been about 15 years previously.
Yeah.
Who it was believed had run away from home as she had upped and gone, and was never seen of again. And as part of all of these investigations, she starts to become concerned about whether or not there is a personal connection, and that she is going to uncover something awful. And it's a very well constructed story. I think it was 4 parts.
Yeah.
And I think I pretty much watched it all in one sitting. It was that sort of compulsive viewing.
I'm getting mixed messages from you, because when you start off by saying, well, it's a well-constructed story, that sounds like damning with faint praise.
No.
But when you say you watched it all in one sitting, that sounds like, this is amazing.
It is. I'm thinking about it. It was really well thought out and well done, and the way they managed the sort of then and now,
mm-hmm.
and seeing, her bits of her life when she'd been younger, bits of what happened with the missing girl, and it really was gripping. And then looking at her relationship with her daughter as well, given how relatively close in age they were, her relationship with her mother, who was an odd woman, to say the least. It was just, very, very watchable. It was gritty, it was interesting. A view of some of the UK that's not something I generally come across on TV, just because of what I watch. I don't actually watch that much British TV, I realise. And I hugely enjoyed it. It's a thorough recommendation, a very solid 4 stars.
Okay.
And I could almost, I know I can watch anything again, but I could almost watch it again and see if I missed things along the way.
Okay, I have a proposal for you. Instead of watching it again, watch something on ITVX called Karen Perry.
Okay.
Yes, Karen Perry, because the way when you're describing this, I am getting real Karen Perry vibes. It's a similar thing, like, lead female investigator investigating something in the past. You have like flashbacks to what actually happened all the way back then, all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit unforgotten.
Yes, it does. It does have a touch of Unforgotten to it.
All right.
And watch it. Please watch it. I want to know what you think, because it's an easy watch, but it does make you think.
I will. Hey, because we know with my life now with 2 kids at home, I'm not going to be going to the cinema. So I might as well watch the Jetty at 3 o'clock in the morning when somebody's refusing to go to sleep. And even if it has bad language in it, it's fine because she doesn't speak yet. So
it's funny with these things. I mean, I'm with these TV shows. Maybe I should watch them. But I did see that. I did watch Killing Eve because everybody said it was so good, and I didn't rate it that much.
Oh, it depends on. Oh, it depends on which season you go for.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm obviously haven't seen all the seasons because I got switched off a little bit by it. So, and I've not seen Happy Valley or any of those sort of British dramas. So,
Killing Eve, don't go past the first season. The first season's good. The second season's all right. The third season's meh. And by the time the 4th season came around, I couldn't be bothered. I still haven't watched the 4th season.
But wasn't that? I did see one series. I think it was called The Scorpion, about in Thailand, and she was in that. That was decent. That was decent. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Oscar music telling us all to shut up. I don't. You see, this is the thing. I'm not sure whether Zoom has just gone for that and gone for like the Oscar music, get off the stage music, or whether I feel like it's directed at us. It feels personal. It feels,
It does, doesn't it?
it feels like we're talking about movies and it's just like da, 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 yeah, whatever. All right, cool. So 4 stars for The Jetty. And now let us go on to The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which Shaun saw on Amazon Prime. Not in cinemas, not in this country, but yeah. So, Shaun, tell us, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Okay. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is loosely based on a group of soldiers that went on special missions like SOE missions. And so you've got this, he's sort of in jail. They say, oh, we need some people to... It's quite interesting because I watched the Franco thing. There's a submarine base in Africa near the Ivory Coast, where German submarines get supplied of all fuel and food and all that, and they want them basically to go in there so that the submarines can't work, so that so the Americans would come into the war. So I think it's loosely based on some history. And anyway, they turn up, and he goes, "Oh, I need a team." Like they all need a team, They need a team. He goes, "I need this guy," and it's like he's good with explosives. Oh, this guy can sail any boat anywhere. This guy's the Swedish guy he's killed like 500. He wrestles bears and stuff. It's so you've got this.
It's like A-Team. It's Ocean's 11. It's Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. But it is loosely based on something, because at the end, the actual characters, they do, where they do the photographs of the actual characters, they actually come up and say, oh, they won the DSO and they did this and went on loads more missions. So really, so this film, basically it's about this crew gets together and they decide to go and blow up these submarines and whatever, and supply ships and all that. But it ends up a bit sort of, they're really funny. They're old Etonians and they're very, gentlemen, they laugh. And the bit where the Germans sort of actually get on their boat that they're sailing off to, and they all start laughing. He goes, "How dare you laugh?" You've got your typical, the Germans are proper Germans, you know what I mean? Proper Nazis.
The Germans are like like a 1960s movie German.
They are, yeah. But I have to say, they've got so basically it's just them traveling around on this boat and causing mayhem as they go around. But what is quite interesting is you've also got so it's the start of, and you've got the sort of appeasers that are saying, oh, we need to stop the war now. You need to stop this mission. You need to and you've got like the naval intelligence, Ian Fleming. So he sort of turns up.
I heard that Ian Fleming shows up in the movie.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fun like that. So so you got, which I'm assuming the person's supposed to be whatever. But so you've got a little peace faction. So you've got if they get caught by the British, they're going to go to jail. If they get caught by the Germans, they're going to obviously be tortured and maimed and all that. Oh, and they have to rescue one. There's one that they have to rescue. Anyway, when they get to Africa, it's great. There's an actor, and I'm not sure who the actor is, but he's really, really good. He's a black actor.
I know the guy. I know the guy. He was in Dune. He was in the first Dune right at the end.
Yeah, spot on. He was great. And then there's this an old Etonian. They call him the prince of like, he's got a crew of pirates basically. They said, because there's so many Germans. So and This film is the one that I should think, nah, that wouldn't happen, blah, blah, blah. I should.
Yeah, from the trailer, I watched this film and I was thinking that, it's the kind of thing that you might think this is too silly. This is too silly.
Yeah, but again, it was like, I guess it was like Bad Boys. It didn't take itself seriously. It knew what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
And the dialogue was really, really good fun. It was all cricket and jolly old chaps and what have you, and old Etonians and, just all dressed up, all smart with cravats. When they meet the prince of, I forget what the place is called. Anyway, they meet the prince of something, and he's got like the cravat. You know what I mean? Like they got the old cravat, and he goes, "Oh, I recognise you. You were the photograph of on the cricket. Oh yes."
Well, it is, because it has Henry Cavill in it, and even in the trailer, he has this mustache on, and it pretty much, it sounds like he's saying every line with a pipe in his mouth. It's like, well, Hitler isn't playing fair, neither shall we.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and he likes everything, so he's a bit like if there's cigars or anything or what, he just goes, oh, I like that jacket. So yeah, lots of mayhem in this. It's really, really, it's great fun. I really, really enjoyed this. Actually, I've got to say, it was. I mean, I know Guy Ritchie can be a bit hot and cold, but this was super fun. And I mean, you had the it was just really, really good fun. But I really liked the pirates. I really, really liked the pirates, and it was explosions and shootings, and obviously so over the top with the shootings that you know what I mean. It just probably like, wow. You could just walk through 500 soldiers, pop, 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 pop. But really, really good fun, and I'd be pleased to see when Sharon watches this, because it would be good to.
Yeah, I anticipate seeing it quite soon.
Yeah. That'd be, and the guy plays Reacher as well. The guy who's
Alan Rickson.
Alan Rickson, yeah.
I'm guessing he plays the Swedish guy.
He does, yeah. I looked at him first, and he's like, I thought, yeah, I know him, and then it suddenly worked out. I thought, oh yeah, he's Reacher, and he plays a good part as well. There's like the Swede. Why are Swedes in movies? If you ever say the Swede, they're always like big dudes, aren't they? Or dangerous
big dudes called Sven or something.
Sven, yeah. So I really enjoyed this one, and I'm going to give this one a 4-star.
4-star for Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Because when it was Guy Ritchie, I was like, ooh, I don't know about Shaun. I don't know how Guy Ritchie might not be Shaun's cup of tea. All right, cool. And now we go to the final thing we're going to talk about this week, and this is Douglas is cancelled.
Oh, yeah.
So this Douglas is cancelled, and I mean, so far everything, at least one person has given everything that we watched this week a 4. So I'm going to say that this is going to keep its good run going. And this is Douglas is cancelled. Well, I mean, I was watching this thing going, because I knew Holly was watching it at the same time. I was watching it going, yeah, Holly's going to love this. I'm like, Holly's gonna love this. So Holly, tell us what this is all about.
Well, we can share this one. So
yes,
it is based around a daily breakfast show with a presenter who is an older man called Douglas, and he has, and I now proceed to not be able to remember her name, a younger Madeline, his co-host, who's much younger, Madeline. And it becomes apparent that at some point at a wedding, after a little too much to drink, he made a sexist joke. And off goes the online universe in condemning or supporting him.
Yes. And
all flared up by a tweet from Madeline that could be viewed as supportive or unsupportive, depending upon how you tweet.
A brilliantly ambiguous tweet.
And Madeline clearly has a great deal of influence over him and is able to shape his behaviours in ways that others can't.
Especially his wife, played by Alex Kingston! Alex Kingston!
As amazing as you would expect.
Yes, I'm sorry, but every time I see Alex Kingston in something, I just feel so happy. I'm like, yay! She's back!
It's just joy. She's part of the reason I keep watching The Discovery of Witches. So marvellous in it.
Yes.
So off he goes with his agent and producer, everything else, to try to figure out how to manage the story and the impact it will have on his professional and personal life.
May I just say that his agent is played by Simon Russell Beale, who plays the world's most brilliantly useless agent, the world's most stupendously useless agent. It is brilliant. He's brilliant in this.
So it's another very well constructed bit of television, in a really good way. And you don't quite know what's going to happen next. You don't quite know what anybody's motivations are, how you've got to where you are. He has a daughter who's in her probably early 20s.
Oh no, she's a teenager.
A teenager. She's in university.
She's in university, but I feel like she's early, like probably 19. Okay, late stage teenager.
Yeah, and who does not get on with her mother, and the dynamics of that relationship as well, and his relationship with his daughter, with his wife, with
Yep.
Then it's these interesting layers of what did he say for
Yes.
because he doesn't remember what he said.
Yes, the whole thing is that there's this joke that he said, and his producer is kind of like, "What did you say?" I don't remember, and it keeps going on. I think the whole cast is firing on all cylinders here. It was written by Stephen Moffat. Written by Stephen Moffat. It stars Hugh Bonneville as Douglas, Karen Gillan as Madeline, Alex Kingston as I can't remember her first name, but Douglas's wife. You've got Ben Miles. You got Ben Miles playing, which is a coupling reunion with Stephen Moffat. Ben Miles playing the producer. You have Simon Russell Beale. The cast is brilliant. The cast is stacked, and they play it perfectly. There's only 4 episodes, and episode 3 is almost kind of like a chamber piece, which takes place mostly in one room. And I feel like the way they sort of, in such a simple story, the way it kind of goes, okay, like I think each episode ends with something that makes you go, "Ooh, what does that mean? Oh, where are we going next? Oh, what's going to happen now?" And I feel like the Karen Gillan character, there's a bit, like, especially the way she, like Madeline, the way she interacts with Douglas, there's bits where you're like, hang on a second, who is the bad guy? Who is the bad guy? Who are we supposed to, it's like, who are we supposed to believe? Who are we supposed to be rooting for? Because Douglas's wife, who is played by Alex Kingston, she's the editor of like a newspaper, like a tabloid, like The Sun or something. And she doesn't like Madeline. She's like, what hold does she have over you? Why do you always do what she wants? Why do you always climb down when she says something? And the dynamics between all the different relationships are really, really well done. And when you find out what is going on and where the whole thing goes and where it all ends up, I think it's, fine, Oscar music.
We know.
I actually just looked up on Zoom, that music that plays is called "And the Winner Is."
Ah, right.
Yeah, and so when you actually find out, when it comes to is denouement, how do you say that in French? Denouement, yeah. When it comes to the end. When it comes to the end, and they reveal a whole bunch of stuff of what the games are actually being played, it's quite affecting. It's quite affecting between like the different characters and all that. And the thing is that this is actually quite funny. There is a killer Zulu joke in the first episode. That there is an absolute killer Zulu joke that kind of like, I know we've spoken about Zulu a lot before between myself, Shaun, and Sharon, and we've spoken about Zulu a lot. And I was just kind of like, when that joke came out, I was kind of like, yes, Stephen Moffat, I like you. I like you. So yeah, all in all, I thought this was really, really good. It goes into the sort of like sexual politics, it goes into online stuff. There's a moment that I think will either divide people or be a punch the air moment. I think for some people it will be a massive punch the air moment, and I was actually quite happy with it when it happened. But I would give it a 4 out of 5, and I would recommend watching it. It's only 4 episodes, which I love. I like long may there be TV shows that are only 4 episodes long. So yeah, I'll give it a 4. Holly?
Also a 4.
Good stuff. Good. I thought you might tip over into a 5.
Very, very close.
I thought you might tip over into a 5.
I did absolutely love it. It was superb. I'm going to give it a 5. I did like it. Getting a 5.
And you know the punch in the air moment I'm talking about, right? Yeah. You know the punch in the air moment I'm talking about. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it might be a little bit of wish fulfillment, but I think it's I think it's really, really well done. So yeah, that is it. And this week, guess who the winner is?
Hey!
Cinema.
Let's hope we get a few for next week.
Let's hope we get to the cinema. Yeah. I'm hoping for Deadpool and Wolverine and Twisters, because in an alternate reality, we were going to meet up and watch Twisters and the IMAX in London.
Yes, here we were. We could always come up with something sometime when there's another biggie that we're worth looking at IMAX.
Yeah, but then I got reminded in a very cruel life way that I have children. So, so it's like, all right, cool. That is it. And I think until next week when we hopefully will go to the cinema, see some Deadpool and Wolverine, see some Twisters, see some Despicable Me 4. Sharon, Despicable Me 4.
I'm afraid I won't be with you because I'm going to be in Italy.
Look at me, I'm going to be in Italy.
I'll have 2 weeks new job and then I'll have a week of holiday.
Fine.
How cool was that? Was that booked before you got the job? Oh, that's good. That's nice when they say that, isn't it? When before you get a contract, you say, "Well, I've got this book." So,
yeah.
I'm going to be ready.
I take it you're going to be staying with your Italian family.
No, we have our usual. We have the same Airbnb apartment as last year. It is the.
But you will be seeing the Italian family, right? And practicing all the Italian.
No, sadly, won't be seeing them this time because they're going to France. Oh no, Greece. But I will be practicing my Italian every day, booking tables and getting tables in restaurants and things, and asking how much stuff costs.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Have fun. So until next week, when we're going to try our very best to watch films and not just watch the Olympics over and over again.
The Olympics is on. Oh dear.
Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to watch the Olympics, talking about streaming platforms, Discovery Plus are doing a thing because Discovery Plus have all the Olympics. So if you want to see everything in the Olympics in the UK, you can't watch it all on the BBC, as used to be the case. Since Tokyo 2020 and for the next 5 Olympics, the BBC is not going to show everything. They're going to show like packages of certain stuff. If you want to watch everything at the Olympics and have your absolute fill, you need to go to Discovery Plus. I don't know why I'm saying this. It's not like we're being paid. I'm saying this because this is going to cost them money. But they're usually $7.99 a month. They are now $3.99 a month if you sign up today. If you sign up now, you get $3.99. So you get to watch it for a month and then probably cancel it because you've seen the Olympics and that's all you really care about. So, but anyway, do that. Until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
Bye for me.
Bye for me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Get in touch and let us know what you feel about the show. Twitter, Facebook, anywhere else, Netflix vs Cinema. Thank you.